Everyone, this is Nikachu, Merfolk Master, and I'm here with my brother, and we are going to play Modern Merfolk with Fairy Conclave. That's right. And if you want to learn Merfolk from the Master, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Before we get any further, we're going to thank our sponsor, themanabase.com. And spoilers for Magic 2019 are coming out, and you can read Jason Paternica's article on them only on themanabase.com. Your home base for everything Magic the Gathering. And don't forget that this list will be posted on the Manabase when it becomes public. And I have new patrons supporting me on Patreon. I'm going to thank so much to all of you who are supporting not only Merfolk, but also Burn and Death and Taxes, all modern archetypes. So I'm going to start off by thanking new patron Brandon Converse. We're going to thank Camden Moore, Don Costigan, Nick Owens, Jonathan Taves raised his pledge to $5. Thank you very much, Jonathan Taves. Michael Slater, Jonas. I'm going to thank Matthew Mikado, Blake Krippendorf, Victor Leshley, The Pale Moon, Antonio Campaseco, Roger, Pete Marable, and Aztec, God of Fitness. Thank you very much, all of you, for supporting me on Patreon and supporting Merfolk. So let's get to the deck here. This list is only one card off of what I played at Grand Prix Las Vegas. I had a fine showing at Grand Prix Las Vegas, going X and 5 with 2 buys. That meant I had an 8-5 finish, and after a modern PTQ the next day, which I went 4-2, I overall went 12 out of, I went 12 and 7 for the weekend, which is fine. It's a fine result. It's nothing to get too excited about, but it wasn't a bad result. And the main difference that I have in this list is I'm playing with 1 extra Echoing Truth and 1 less Tectonic Edge. And the main reason is because Mardu Pyromancer is a very popular archetype, and they're now playing Ensnaring Bridge. I missed that with my preparation. I was playing with 3 Echoing Truths, and I really wanted the 4th one, but I couldn't really justify it too much. I didn't want to take anything else out of the entire deck, because it's really convenient to take out Spell Pierce for Echoing Truth versus Humans, versus Death and Taxes, versus any deck that doesn't care about Spell Pierce. And generally, any deck that doesn't care about Spell Pierce usually cares about Echoing Truth. And so the 4th card I would always bring in would be a loose Tectonic Edge, which is fine. It can help pay, the 21st line can help pay for Fairy Conclaves, but ideally I would like to have an actual card. But Mardu Pyromancer is playing Ensnaring Bridge. God, that is a very annoying card.
Oh, yeah.
And Wizards, I think, is now not going to be banning anything if they can help it. They are going to just be printing answers. If we look at the spoilers for M19, it is just answers. All answers to modern decks. Answers to Storm, answers to Tron, answers to Bogles, answers to Leyline of Sanctity. It's just tons of answers to archetypes in Modern, and I think that's going to be their approach. In the past, not too long in the past, they said we're going to ignore the formats, we're going to ignore Legacy and Modern, we're just going to print cards for Standard. They've completely backtracked on that. Instead of banning cards, I think they're just going to be printing crazy answers. So they're not going to ban Bridge. Bridge is probably going to be here to stay for forever, so we need the Echoing Truce in order to beat Bridge. Now, this is the list that I'm playing right now, but I do have some... I feel like I want at least 1 or 2 Marrow Regeries in this list. I played against Humans 4 times over the weekend, and I beat it twice and I lost it twice. The main reason I lost to Humans is because I didn't have enough power to push through and race my Humans opponent. I have plenty of interaction. I can bounce their creatures, I can tap their creatures, I can kill their creatures, but I still can't really race them. And, Dismember is a fine card, but it actually puts still me in striking distance of dying to them. They are an aggro deck. They are very fast. It's not a very clunky deck. It's very smooth. Mantis Rider is really fast. It flies in the air. It puts on a really good clock. And then things like Champion of the Parish puts, it's like a must-answer card immediately. You got to bounce that thing with Harbinger of the Tides, or you got to be tapping it with Merfolk Trickster, or else you start taking a substantial amount of damage. So I don't know what I want to cut from this. I mean, I know the flex spot. In my opinion, the flex spots of this deck, maybe a Cavern of Souls, maybe a spell like Cavern of Souls could be a Tectonic Edge, which would give me another sideboard slot. I could remove Spell Pierce, Dismember, Harbinger of the Tides. I'm just talking one, just one. I have to have a minimum of 3 of all these cards. But 1 Spell Pierce, 1 Dismember, 1 Harbinger of the Tides, those are flex spots. Maybe in the right metagame you could take out 1 Master of Waves. But the 4th one has to go on the sideboard because Master of Waves is just too well positioned right now. I think 1 Relic of Progenitus could be shaved. Obviously 1 Tectonic Edge could be shaved because I've gone down to 3. And I don't know if I really want to be cutting any Echoing Truths. I think we need the maximum for that Mardu Pyromancer matchup. It's good at bouncing tokens, but it most importantly needs to bounce Bridge. And if you can't beat Bridge, well, I mean, they're just going to kill us almost every single time. One last thing about Fairy Conclave. It was great. It helped me win all my control matchups. I played against Jeskai twice, and I played against Grixis once over the weekend. And Fairy Conclave really pulled through. If I didn't have Fairy Conclave, I would have been missing out on a lot of damage. I would have been missing out on a lot of pressure on those opponents. But I think Fairy Conclave also had an effect on a lot of other matchups. I felt like my opponent were less inclined to tap out because they knew that I would just easily smack them with Fairy Conclave. So I think even though that Fairy Conclave didn't always get in for damage in every single matchup, or I never activated it, I still think that the presence of Fairy Conclave on the board still had an effect. And I think that my build with so many 1-drops, like I don't want to take out too many of these 1-drops because I think that's very important in a Fairy Conclave build. I think a lot of people got excited about Fairy Conclave in a build with a bunch of 2-drops because you could play Fairy Conclave on turn 1 and turn 3 without affecting you very much. But fact of the matter is, you're ignoring the fact that Fairy Conclave comes into play tapped as your 2nd land drop a decent chunk of the time, or even as your 4th land drop, which prevents you from playing Master of Waves or 2 Lords on the same turn. But that is mitigated if you have enough things to do with 1 mana. If this is your 2nd land drop for the turn, you only have 1 mana available, then you can play Spell Pierce or Dismember or another Ether Vial. If this is your 4th land drop, you can still play a 2-drop and a 1-drop on the same turn. So I felt like this card wasn't almost ever clunky because I could still make a really good use of my mana with Dismember and Spell Pierce. So those are my thoughts. Tectonic Edge, by the way, was awesome. It was really awesome. But some things to change for the future would be I might take out Cavern of Souls for a Tectonic Edge to get the 4th one in there. The 4th one isn't mandatory, but I mean, it's certainly, I don't want to screw around against Jeskai Control. I beat that deck, and you know what? It's going to be a big deck, and we want to always beat that deck. And somehow throw in some Mare Regeries in this deck. And even I think with Fairy Conclave, it'll be fine. I think it'll be fine. So with that, we're going to play a league with this list. So we're on the draw. This is not a very exciting hand on the draw. Our opponent kept their hand. It's very clunky, like the best thing that we can do on the draw is play Silvergill Adept. It's not really a hand I want to throw away either. I mean, we've got Spreading Seas, we've got Silvergill Adept, so I mean, against the right deck, this could be useful.
Just
like
keep it.
Yeah, I know I'm going to keep it. Maybe we can still draw. There's a lot of things we can draw. Oh, if this is Storm, this is a pretty bad hand. But not necessarily a bad matchup. I mean, the main problem with this hand against Storm is that we have no interaction, and we're on the draw. We're going to have to tap out on turn 2, one way or another, and it's not going to be pretty when we do. So our opponent played Serum Visions, put 1 card on the top, 1 card on the bottom. If they play Brawl or Goblin Electromancer, they do not. Well, from their perspective, we might be a control deck. So there's Fairy Conclave.
Spread that red mana.
Hmm?
Spread that red mana.
That's sort of what I'm thinking. If they played Goblin Electromancer or Brawl, I would have definitely Spreading Seas that Shivan Reef because we need to take sort of a greedy line of play in order to get our... Because we can't win at all in a short amount of time. Now, the fact that they didn't play Brawl or Goblin Electromancer doesn't mean they don't have one. When you play an island, it could mean Spell Snare, and they could be trying to wait and set up for a turn where they can beat the control deck. Because another thing is, if they just play an unprotected Brawl or Electromancer, I may not even have Spell Snare, but I might have like Path to Exile or Lightning Bolt, which I would kill it, or I don't know, some sort of removal, which I could untap with. So they're going to want to play their creature and rattle out a bunch of rituals or something at the same time. So what do we do right now? We could play a Silvergill Adept, try to get ourselves on the board. Because if they're not going to combo off, because we have one more turn. We do have a turn. No, I don't want to Spreading Seas. I need to get pressure on the board. Got this Fairy Conclave stuck in hand. So they're going to opt. We might Spreading Seas next turn, depending on what they do. Opt again. So they put a card on top with the first opt, and they put a card on top with the second opt. You want to be looking at these things to gauge how strong their hand is. Dismember is a great draw, so if they don't combo off next turn, we might be able to snipe out the Baral or something. You can buy yourself a lot of turns if you can kill that creature. They don't go that route. And now Spreading Seas is even more useless than it was before. I'm going to attack for 2. I'm not gonna play anything this turn. And I'll tell you why. If they're holding back Brawl or Goblin Electromancer for the turn that they want to combo off, I want to be ready with the Dismember. So we're going to play Fairy Conclave and pass. This could be a situation where, you know, it sort of looks like Fairy Conclave was clunky because we could have played a Lord. We could at least have played a Lord that turn. There's another opt. That's 3 opts. They put a card on top again.
What does Brawl cost to cast?
2 mana. Blue and a colorless. That is fine. But Spell Pierce is a very time-sensitive card. Gets worse as time goes on. Well, it's useless right now.
No, it's fine.
No, it's not. It's not fine. I'm willing to play the Silvergill Adept, just so that we can get more pressure on the board. I'll show the Harbinger.
He's probably not paying attention to what you're revealing.
I might show... Actually, I'm going to show the Master of Waves, because we can play Harbinger of the Tides at flash speed. So I would really like to find a land here. That would be ideal. What's going on? Would you like to double Ritual into Gifts Ungiven so that you have enough mana to pay for Spell Pierce? That works, right? Double... I don't know if it works. Any naysayers for Spell Pierce? Look at the power. The power, people. That's the power of Spell Pierce. Resolves land. Oh, we got the land. Excellent. Merfolk. Now this board state is a smidge weak to, like, I don't know, just 2 spells and then Grape Shot. But whatever. Oh, we got Mutavault, so we could...
Swing for 6.
Could swing for 6, or I could play the Master of Waves, which will also threaten lethal. And I don't need any more...
Hold something up for Dismember, though.
Yeah, well, I'll have it for Dismember. Okay, so we'll attack for 4. The thing is, like, after I play Mutavault and Master of Waves, if we draw one... Mutavaults are going to be 3/3 creatures with Master of Waves in play, so if our opponent Grape Shots the board away, Master of Waves will stand. And So if we draw one more land, we can play Lord of Atlantis, and we'll have definitely lethal with our Mutavaults and Master of Waves.
Resignation in 3.
No, they're definitely not. They have like another Gifts Ungiven or something. Or they might not, but I mean, I don't see them resigning. They might play something like Unsubstantiate on Master of Waves. Oh, it looks like they're going to go or a Repeal. It's interesting. They're drawing a card. If this resolves, I have the option to dismember the Master of Waves. Because their hand can't be very good. It's hilarious that they can repeal this. Alright, we're going to let it repeal. I'll keep the Dismember up. I would prefer not to dismember my own Master of Waves. That doesn't feel very good. Opponent has to be also careful not to tap too much red mana.
Does nothing.
Does nothing. Some good news. Another island.
Just use it. It's free at this point.
Well,
take out that one red.
there actually is a little bit of truth to what you're saying. I could Spreading Seas the Mountain, which forces them to use the Shivan Reef, and then play a Lord and then attack for 9. And by doing that, they can no longer use the Shivan Reef for red mana or blue mana.
Just do it for fun.
Another thing I can do is try to I could play a Lord and just try to win the game right now, and I will, unless they have like 2 repeals, and if not, I at least hit them for 8. But then I'm going to be tapped out. I don't really want to tap out here. It's not where I want to be. It's not where anyone wants to be.
Just Spreading Seas.
No. No.
Yes, but it'll force him to.
Okay, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll play a Lord. We'll try to put them to 9. We'll try to put them to 9. And if it works, I think it will put our opponent's mana at a very strong constraint. Now, I might have lethal here, but it just feels like my opponent won't let me so easily do this for lethal. Grape Shot's a sorcery, so I don't have to worry too much about this. Okay, Gifts Ungiven. There is a world where I might Spreading Seas this mountain. If they... Let's see what happens. If they take 9 damage, I will attempt to Spreading Seas the mountain. They can still play Baral though. I don't know, I have to think about it. Desperate Ritual, Past in Flames. So I think I'm going to put 2 cards in their graveyard. I'm going to put these other cards in the graveyard. I think. Choked on lands, right? I think you're choked on land. Okay, so what happens here? But what if you have Baral in your hand? Oops, sorry. How does this work if you have Brawl? 1 mana left. I need... Okay, I'm just going to go for it. We're going to Spreading Seas the mountain.
See? It's that easy.
Even if they have Baral... Oh, please don't counter this. Oh, no! Oh, that's so bad. We're in trouble now. Okay, please no... If they have Goblin Electromancer, they still need... Oh, they have the mountain. Oh god, you have it all. It was almost a good play. They tried hard to play around something. They kept that remand up.
In the end, I was probably right. You should have just played that Spreading Seas a long time ago.
I can't remember, what's the casting cost of Gifts Ungiven? I think it's 4. Which means I think we're dead. That remand hurt so much because they got to draw a card. Now they're drawing 1,000,000 cards. It's interesting. Maybe we would have won if we just played the Lord of Atlantis and tapped out. But I didn't feel like taking that route so easily with how much mana our opponent had available. I don't think that we can win through this. They have like a bunch of Manamorphose in the graveyard. I think we're just going to have to like pass and lose. I know you should light your opponent's... whatever. How can I pass? Yield until end step. Okay. Let's talk life. My trip to Vegas was pretty good. Shout out to Michael Jacks for letting me stay at his house, sleep on his couch for the majority of my trip.
Was it a good couch?
It was a great couch. Couch was fantastic. And his lovely roommates, Patrick and Viv.
Do they play Magic?
Nope, not at all. Viv plays chess, though. And Patrick plays a little bit of chess as well. Well, I don't know, maybe he plays a lot of chess, I'm not sure. I think we played this game as well as we could, up to a point. Let's say I don't play Dismember. I'm sorry, let's say I don't play Spreading Seas.
Let's say you play Spreading Seas the first opportunity you could have on that dual land at the beginning of the game.
Nothing happened. No, I don't think anything changes. Because I don't have a clock on board. Also, I think we did pretty well on the draw with no 1-drop. I think we did pretty well. And some might say, well, if I played Lord of Atlantis and then attacked with both Mutavaults, maybe I would have won. That's not true, because then my opponent could have changed their Gifts Ungiven to include some sort of removal, and were definitely tapped out. Or maybe they had the answer in their hand anyway. They might have just had an answer in their hand anyway, like a Lightning Bolt, bolted 1 Lord. Bolt our Lord, take 8, and then combo off anyway. Because they would most definitely be able to do all of this anyway, given that they had a hand of like Rituals and Gifts Ungiven. So, we're going to bring in all the relics. I believe I'm bringing in... Yeah, I'm definitely bringing in all the Deprives. I think I'm bringing in like up to 3 Echoing Truths now. I'm going to take out Spreading Seas. You may not like it, but this is not a very necessary card. I think I should also take out a land, now that I think of it. We'll take out most of the Master of Waves. Take out some Harbinger of the Tides. If I remember correctly, I think I take out 1 Spell Pierce. How many creatures? I have 20 creatures. I don't want to go lower than that. Let's take out a land, because I don't want to flood out. It's going to be Cavern. Probably should keep Cavern. They have some counter. They're probably taking out Remand. I don't remember what they do, but I think they take out Remand. They might not. They might keep Remand just for our other spells. I have a sideboard guide for this. What's my sideboard guide? What's my sideboard guide? I got it here, people. What do I have for the Storm matchup?
Orange paper.
Well, that's all I could find at the judge's station that was free. I bring in 2 Echoing Truths. Oh, I decided to take out all the Master of Waves for this matchup. Keep the Harbinger. And I'm taking out 1 Spell Pierce, because we just have a lot of interaction anyway. I have to take out something else, though. Okay, 1 Spell Pierce. 1 Harbinger. I don't have many creatures left. Whatever. That's it. That's what I said. That's what I said. I don't have many creatures, but you know what? We have Fairy Conclave, so whatever. I'll submit this deck. I would like to play first. I can keep this hand. It's okay. I tell you what I'm going to do. We're going to start off with Island into Fairy Conclave, because we can play Spell Pierce and Dismember off of this. Like, I'm just going to burn this immediately. When you have more than 1 Spell Pierce, you want to, like, burn these on stuff. Like, even a Serum Visions. His hand might have been, like, a 1-land sketchy hand. And I don't have to worry about... Ooh. I think we can take a turn to play Aether Vial here. Worst thing that could happen is they're going to play Repeal on our Aether Vial. Which they do not. Another Spell Pierce. It's fine. Again, I'm going to burn this. Because I have multiple Spell Pierces, I'm going to burn them on cantrips. Like, even Opt. If they gave me the option. The option!
What was you about to say?
You get it, people? It's a pun! You get it?
Jeez.
It's all good.
You got it all.
I think I'm going to activate this just so I can get more lands in play. Just in case that's going to matter. Like, if I draw another Fairy Conclave, there we go. That's fine. I can even start beating down with that Mutable, given all the interaction we have in our hand. Sure. No idea what you're using this on. Alright. Spell Pierce that. That feels like a big win.
Storm is a very linear deck. Very linear. You can see where it's going from a mile away. There's no surprises with Storm. That's his weakness.
What surprised me by winning last game, because I thought I was in the I thought I was way in the driver's seat. Okay, we attack for some amount of damage and pass. And they're just jamming these. How many Spell Pierces can we have? Is the question. How many?
You probably hit a few deprives along the way.
I would love to hit a deprive. That'd be hilarious. Damn. Cannot counter the Serum Visions. We got some very good value out of those Spell Pierces. Our opponent was more patient. Okay, 1 card on the top of their library.
Are you going to dismember that?
Absolutely. Should I do it now or later? Well, I guess if I do it later, it doesn't matter. I'm just contemplating, like, remand. What would happen if they have a remand? Are they targeting their Brawl? Oh, that sucks. Okay. Fine. They're losing a lot of resources, though. I don't have much of a clock, unfortunately.
Well...
I will attack with just one of these.
You can swing for 6 every turn.
Because we need to dismember that Brawl.
Can you trickster the Burl?
I can. I will attempt to do that as well. Okay, so... just in case... Wait, hold on, what if they have Grape Shot or something here? What if they have another unsubstantiate? Well, I could try to Merfolk Trickster. I don't know what they would do in response. Yeah, you know what? Let's do that. Let's just Merfolk Trickster, see what they're going to do with their turn. Maybe burn all their cards. The only problem with playing Merfolk Trickster is that maybe they have Grape Shot. They're going to do something about that. Like, eat up our board. I guess I could Echoing Truth like Silver Gill Adept back to our hand. See, like, if our opponent has a bunch of rituals, this would be a waste. They can't really do anything with an inactive Brawl in play. Our opponent is officially pissed. They're pissed at our Ether Vial. Stop using this thing. So what we could do is we could again Echoing Truth our Ether Vial back to our hand, so that they don't draw a card. Yeah, I think I'll just let it resolve. And then we will dismember you.
Icing on the cake.
That is correct. So we don't need Echoing Truth.
Swing for 8.
I think I would prefer to get the Ether Vial in play. Swing for 6. Well, if we swing for 8, if they blow up my board... what to do? I might want Echoing Truth in play, just in case they play, say, Goblin Electromancer.
Well, then
I might be able to bounce something.
Just swing for 4 then.
I could swing for 4 and then cast Harbinger at end of turn. I could swing for 6, attempt to swing for another 6. I do want to threaten lethal. I don't want to give our opponent too many turns, because if they find Past in Flames, they're going to recur everything from their graveyard very quickly.
Maybe you'll get a relic.
So let's say, okay, they play land, Goblin Electromancer, or say Baral, and they can't do anything yet with Past in Flames. So we are in a position to try to win right now, unless they have a ritual. Sorry, okay, so they could play Baral or Goblin Electromancer, play a ritual, and then play Past in Flames. Okay, you know what? I like your plan. Let's attack for 8. If they blow up my board somehow, whatever. We'll attack for 4 with Mutavaults. Like, we don't have counter magic anyway. So we're going to put our opponent in a situation where you better have it. You gotta have it. You gotta have exactly that. Ritual and Past in Flames. You're missing one piece of the puzzle.
He's dead.
I think they're dead. Ooh, relic.
Whoa. Do it right now. Just rub it in his face, because he needs his graveyard.
I think what we're going to do is we're going to bounce the Baral and just attack for 6. And I think they can only deal with one of these threats. Like, logically. It will be interesting if they counter this. They do not counter this. Okay, so if their hand is like Bolt... Actually, it doesn't matter what their hand is. I don't care what their hand is. They're at 4 life.
He knows there's around 3, so...
Yeah, but so do I. In some ways, I don't want to show him the Echoing Truth, because we didn't reveal Echoing Truth at all that game. I wonder if Tectonic Edge has a part in this matchup. Just because the matchup goes so long, and the mana does matter. Like, let's say I replaced a Cavern of Souls with Tectonic Edge. That might be something. Whatever. Okay, submit this. Actually, we used all 3 Spell Pierces that game. Got him with Spell Pierce. Just got him. This hand is fine. It's a little light on interaction. Our opponent mulligan, that's great. Fortunately, we can play most of our hand with Flash Speed. You better get those Serum Visions in before I Spell Pierce them.
Which you don't have anyway. But...
Yeah. He doesn't know that. He or she. How many Jordans are female? Is it? I think it could be. Someone let me know in the comment section below. We better not assume this Jordan is a man or male.
I think I've seen girls with the name Jordan.
I want to say I have as well. Well, Goblin Electromancer, so we meet again.
Not this time.
But not for much longer. I'm gonna play Silver Gill Adept because we need to draw into interaction. That's not it. We have Merfolk Trickster, but like we need something good. It's interesting. Our opponent doesn't have a lot of. Oh no, they have blue mana. Metamorphose. What is this? Just to draw a card? Please, just to be desperate. It's probably not.
Draws a card.
Ritual. Well, they might be going for Empty the Warrens here. I am at 16. Yeah, okay. It's not a big Empty the Warrens. We can deal with this. We have a Merfolk Trickster. I think, ideally, we're just going to put a Master of the Pearl Trident down and then take a Wailing. Yeah, I'm just going to sit on defense. If they, like, bounce my Master of the Pearl Trident, I will block with the Silver Gill Adept. Okay, gifts ungiven. And now we probably need to draw a... I don't know what. We'll see what they get. It's probably Past in Flames. One of the cards. Given the board, we'll put the Past in Flames in the graveyard. We have a lot of Merfolk Tricksters, so if they want a Brawl or Electromancer, we'll put it in their hand, and then every turn we can like put something in the graveyard. So Past in Flames demands a lot of mana. Well, what if we put these rituals in the graveyard? They make 2 mana, because they need 2 more mana to cast Past in Flames and then really go off. Or they need a mana creature. I guess we're just going to put the rituals in the graveyard. And hopefully we're not going to die horribly. And I probably could have thought about that a little bit longer. No island in play, which is interesting. Spell Pierce is awesome. Just awesome. So are the goblins to save time? Or what? Sort of want to keep the tricksters in hand. I have to try to get through these goblins, though. So if I play Master of the Pearl Trident, attack with both, they could triple block, killing everything. Which is alright, I guess. Because we sort of need to win this game really quickly. Alright, that's what I'll do. Let's attack with both. We need to try to win the game. If they throw all the goblins away, okay, that's fine. We're just going to have to rebuild really quickly. Oh, they only have to spend that many goblins. I forgot. Okay, that's fine. Or, I mean, I'm not thrilled, but whatever.
Emptied his board, just about.
We're really hoping our opponent misses land drops.
What are you looking to spell pierce? Gibson given?
Another Manmorphos. I'm hoping to spell pierce the Gifts Ungiven. Sorry, I'm hoping to spell pierce the Past in Flames, unless we draw a Relic of Progenitus. Ooh, I have to counter this. That's too good. It's actually just too good of a card. Because they could just draw a bunch of rituals and then I'd be dead.
Yes, this deck definitely needs pieces of its puzzle.
Oh, that's late. That's lame.
It's right on time.
It is not. One interesting caveat, though, is that if our opponent plays... guess I'll show Harbinger. If our opponent plays an island... Uh-oh. That's not good. Hopefully we don't get punished this very turn. Okay, I don't think we can get punished now. After they play Serum Visions. Interesting dynamic as well. They don't play any islands, and therefore they're going to take damage off of every single time they have to cast a blue spell with the Shivan Reef. This is a very interesting game. Well, if they went for another giant Empty the Warrens, I guess we have the answer now with Echoing Truth. The truth of the matter is... Alright, that should put us in really good shape. So we can play like 2 more Folk Tricksters a turn. What do they do with the Serum Visions? Put 2 cards on top. They like their cards. We have a hard... I don't know how they're going to get through this. And we are threatening to win the game next turn because of Fairy Conclave.
Does nothing. Love it. I love when your opponent does nothing.
I also love it when they do nothing. Question is, will I go for the win next turn? Please take damage somehow off this. Go to 8. Okay, that is interesting. We're going to let that resolve, so I can just play the Trickster again. And we have lethal on board, so they need to have Lightning Bolt. They need a few Lightning Bolts, because I have a Deprive in hand. Okay. None of this is a big problem. I think I'll just attack for 4. And play Mutavault, threaten lethal again.
If you got it, you better play it now.
Yeah, basically. Oh, that's a good land. That's a good sign. If they're starting their turn off by playing that land and passing, that is a good sign.
3, 2.
Could be that case. We have lethal in multiple ways this turn right here. What to do about this?
Counter it.
Okay, you have Past in Flames, for sure, in hand. Okay, let's say that resolves and you play another Past in Flames. What if I counter that one? Okay, I can let the first one resolve, because I think if there's a second one cast, nothing bad can happen. Okay, or that happens and I just counter it. Okay, they might resign now. No? No? I mean, I have lethal on board with the Fairy Conclave and Mutable, but you know, we're gonna play the Merfolk Trickster. Maybe accelerate the Resignation button. No, not. Oh, there we go. We did it. We did it, people. We beat Storm. We played a tight game. That's how it's done. You want to be patient. Got to interact with your opponents. Dismember, fortunately, wasn't a dead card in our hand.
As soon as he played those 6 creatures, I would have resigned.
Yeah.
See that? Forget it. I'm out of here.
So anyway, that is the deck that I think we have. I mean, Merfolk has a lot of game against Storm. So many people ask me about, should we play Damping Sphere against Storm? Should we play, like, I don't know, there's a new amulet or something coming out against Storm? No, we don't need any of these cards. We have the cards to beat Storm as it is. We don't need anything new. But we have the whole package here. We've got Spell Pierces, we got the Dismembers. We have Relic of Progenitus. If we played Relic of Progenitus like a few turns ago, our opponent would just snap conceded, because I know I have no chance after that. So anyway, yeah, that was our matchup against Storm. We're going to thank all my patrons supporting me on Patreon, and we're going to thank our sponsor, themanabase.com. This has been Nikachu and his brother playing Merfolk in Modern.